in the MFA for another edition of Faculty Spotlight. This time in the spotlight is Eddie Vandewalker. Mr. Vandewalker, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. This is exciting.
My pleasure. It's good to have you on, and we are obviously sitting right in front of a big old piano.
Yeah.
So, what do you teach, Mr. Vandewalker?
Well, I'm professor of music on the main campus here at Fort McIntosh, and so I teach the jazz ensemble and the guitar ensemble. I have some private voice students, some private piano student, and I have sight singing and ear training. And then I teach music appreciation at some of the high schools.
Nice.
And then I work with the musicals.
Okay.
Mostly in the pit.
I've seen the jazz ensemble a little more recently because they've been featured at a couple of the events here on campus. Where else does the jazz ensemble perform?
Well, they'll do a concert the last week of classes, in first week of December, and then they'll perform at the mall, usually near Santa Claus.
Oh, okay.
Some Christmas music. That next week we'll go out there and perform. So that's where we'll be this week. And actually, that's several more performances than we've had in the past. So the students have been very excited. We're going to get 4 performances this semester,
nice,
as opposed to our normal 2.
Are they graded on those performances?
Well, they're for a grade, but more it's about learning and how to perform and becoming better every time.
Yeah. As professor of music, what was your first recollection of wanting to teach?
Well, I learned and fell in love with teaching as an art in itself when I went to undergraduate school. But I went to undergraduate school because I was going to be a Broadway star.
Ah.
And that was my goal. And then I discovered this love for the art of teaching and realized if I teach, I get to do 2 arts at the same time every day. I get to make music and be a part of music and the art of teaching all at the same time. And that was pretty amazing.
That's interesting. I'd never really thought of it that way, that you consider the teaching an art and then the music art, obviously. Let's go back a little bit. How long have you been here at the college?
This is my second school year.
Second school year. Where were you prior to this? Or tell us a little bit about your upbringing and where you've been in the past.
Well, I was born, raised in Oklahoma, so don't hold it against me. But I've been in Texas my entire adult life. But I went to high school, and I sang in choir and started piano lessons and all those things because my family's a bit of a music educators. And then I went to my local college there where I lived and got a wonderful music education degree and so many great experiences. And then I started teaching in Oklahoma for a little while, and then Texas was known for, bottom line, just paying so much better. And so I got a job in Fort Worth Independent School District a very long time ago, and that's what brought me to Texas. And I taught there for a while, and then was encouraged to go back to graduate school, so I did. And then I've been at several 2-year colleges since then around Texas. Yeah. And I have had the opportunity to teach at universities a couple of times. And there's things about that are okay. You get to teach some courses that you don't at 2-year colleges, but those students don't necessarily need your teaching skills. And remember, part of what I love about teaching is the teaching art. Yeah. Whereas 2-year colleges, we get to share those skills of teaching itself along with the art of music. Yeah. And so I'm a real 2-year college advocate.
So what year did you come to Texas?
94.
Okay, so you've been in Texas for a while.
My entire adult life, for the most part.
And going back, you mentioned your family was a music education family. Yeah. As a child, do you remember it was your family that introduced you to music, or how did you get interested in music, I guess, as a whole?
Well, I guess it was partly because of my family, but I was just in choir in junior high. I don't know how I got there. It's just that I was. And that's interesting because my family's background is band. And I'm sort of the black sheep because I'm a choir guy. So,
that makes you a black sheep?
Well, to my family. Yeah. So my grandfather used to call it the holler band. So those kinds of things. But that I was just in choir all along, and that's just the direction I went and fell in love with singing and being in choir, and piano came along the way. And so that was just, I don't know that it was directly related to my family, but in our small town, Vandewalkers were in music. So
when you say band, you mean like marching band, like high school marching bands, things like that?
My grandfather and his son, my uncle, are both in the Oklahoma Bandmasters Hall of Fame.
Wow.
So they were pretty well known, pretty big deal band directors.
And you had to join the choir?
I had to join the choir. No.
You've taught at both levels, high school, college. You've done some university. Have you done anything like elementary, anything like middle like that?
Just my very, very first job was elementary, and then I was middle school, high school for a lot of years, and then just high school, and then college and university.
Has 2-year college been your favorite?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that we get so many of our students often don't see a future. You know, a lot of times they come here because they think, well, I can't, whatever.
Yeah.
And we get to show them they can. And we get to prepare them. And then they're out there, you know, and I tell my students here too, I'm at batting at 100%. Every student that I've had for 4 semesters went to the college of the university of their choice and played in the ensemble they wanted to play in. So since I've been teaching 2-year college, that's 100%. If you were with me for 4 semesters, I will make sure you get in where you want to go. And that's a big deal because those students, when they came to me, didn't think that was possible.
So when they came, what did they think they were getting into exactly?
Well, a lot of them weren't even music majors.
Really?
Because they didn't think, they played because it was fun, or they played in high school and they realized this is what I want to do with my life. And so they switched majors and then they went, now I've got one who's a head band director in Big Spring, I've got one who's head orchestra director in Carrollton, so on and so forth.
Yeah. As far as the levels are concerned, what's the difference between teaching high school and teaching college? I guess as the individual, maybe I don't know, does that make sense?
Well, the difference is the expectation that the students take on more responsibility of their learning. But that requires a process of helping them understand, how do you do that? Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of what we do at 2-year colleges is help them understand, how do I practice differently than when I did in high school when I had band every day and now I have it 2 days a week? Well, so how do you make that work? What do you do and how does that work? But that teaches that independence, which is what music degrees are famous for, is independent study.
I mean, because if you're in the high school band, you're up at 6 o'clock in the morning every day, preparing for marching season and so forth and so on. And then you come here and it's not nearly as rigorous. Does that sound about right?
Well, I think the rigor is higher because the music's more difficult.
Oh, okay.
But the amount of time you spend learning it in class is dynamically less. That's where the independent study comes.
Okay.
And that's what makes music degrees so valuable, is people know that those students have learned how to learn a lot by practicing on their own. They also know there's private lessons involved, which you only meet once a week. Mm-hmm. And you then have assignments that you work on for the whole next week.
So just as the students that are adjusting from high school to college in regard to academics, I mean, I don't have somebody on my back 24/7 telling me what to do. I've got to take care of my own. It's the same thing in music.
Absolutely.
You've got to practice yourself and you've got to take those lessons as well.
Absolutely.
Now, is it a must to take private lessons if you're in music education?
Yes, that's part of any music degree, whether it's education or performance or music therapy, or even like we were talking a little bit ago about audio. Those degrees require you to study an instrument.
What is music therapy? I don't think I've heard that.
Oh gosh, what a wonderful degree. Music therapists are all over the place and nobody knows it. One of the greatest places they work is in hospitals with like transplant patients. The music therapists go in and design listening to keep, when these patients are going to be maybe out or sedated, to keep the brain active. They go into coma patients and test brain activity on different kinds of music, and then they design music to play 24/7 that recreates a normal day's activity of your brain in those coma patients.
That's fascinating.
Oh, I know. It's incredible.
And do students, when they go into music, realize that there's that kind of an opportunity, or does it get introduced to them, or is it part of the lesson?
Well, I don't think that a lot of people know that music therapy exists. Yeah. And so a lot of times when students come to us and say, well, I like music, but I don't want to teach. We're like, well, then you could do this, or this. And they're like, oh, I didn't know there was all of these great things that you could do out there besides teach or perform.
Are there more opportunities now in, let's say, arts than there were before? Because I think also the folks in dance have the same mentality. Well, I don't know that this can be a living. Have those opportunities increased, and why can you now make a career in music or in dance? I mean, or have you always been able to?
Well, I mean, technology, music therapy, and all those things have kind of come along. The thing is, in all the arts, whether it's visual arts or dance or music, we see performances because that's what you go to.
Yeah.
You don't see everything else. In music, in particular, and dance would be the same way. You may not, you may not be dancing or making music, but I mean, there's people that's got to run backstage.
Mm-hmm.
And we need people who understand performances to be those backstage managers, to be up in the booths, to be running the hall. There's those kinds of jobs that are out there that you can have with a dance degree. The other thing that's out there is a lot of people with music degrees go into medical school because we need our doctors to be independent learners and studiers. And the music degree sets you up for that.
And it's similar to theater or those who are interested in film. Not everybody gets to be in front of the camera. There's so much happening behind the camera.
A lot more.
Yeah.
There's way more people back on that side than there are on this side. And there's all those jobs. And those people on the other side of the camera or the other side backstage need to know what it is. They need to be trained. They need to be performing folks so they understand how it works.
So the students here at Laredo College, for example, do they take music classes because they're going to continue in music, or do they take them just because they want to take music?
Both.
Okay.
And pretty much equal.
Okay.
Which is what you want.
Okay.
Because we get all these different people come together with all their different desires and ideas and background, and that's what makes the music sound amazing.
And have you had students, you may have mentioned already, that have come in not thinking about a music career, now thinking of a music career because here they were introduced to that possibility?
I've had one here,
okay,
but I've had several along the way over the years. Yeah. But I've only been here for 2 years.
I was just saying you haven't been here that long.
Right.
Do you ever go back to Oklahoma?
Oh, I go visit when I can.
Your family's there?
It's a bit of a haul from here, but no, I go back and visit and see a group of friends and family.
How do you like Laredo College? I mean, your impressions. I mean, you've been here for a short time, but what are your impressions of the college so far?
Well, I like it a lot. Some of the specific things I like, I love when old things get a new life, and so that's your first impression when you drive onto this campus. Is we have all these wonderful historic buildings that are being given new life.
Yeah,
and that's wonderful all on its own. But that then trickles down into our whole purpose with our kiddos and our students is we give them a chance. You know, they come here and some of them think, well, I'm just going to try college. And then we get them to understand you can go on, you can do something else if you want to. And it's the same thing as giving our buildings a second chance.
Yeah.
You know, true. And so those are the things that's what I really like about Laredo College is just the visual atmosphere demonstrates what we do at the student teacher level.
How would you describe the typical student here at LC?
Well, I don't know that I could use the word typical. Because, we have a variety. We have, well, no, not poor, but I think it's exciting that we have such a variety. Yeah. I don't know, but that I think that I have about equal number of 18, 19-year-olds that just graduated last May, and then early 20s, and then grown adults like retired teachers.
So how many students in total do you have for the music department?
Well, I think with this semester we're running about 20 majors.
For a 2-year community college, that's pretty good.
Pretty amazing. And our freshman class has been amazing. They came in big and strong.
Really?
And so that was pretty awesome.
Do you see them coming in bigger and stronger because of what the department has been able to do, you think?
Well, I think that will pay off. I've only been here 2 years, so I don't know the process, but I do know that I have felt like that if you let people know, like the fact that Jazz Band got to do 2 extra performances, then that's going to bring people. I know last year, just my personal experience, last year we were hauling some equipment to go to a performance on campus, and I had students walk by and said, "What are y'all doing? Here's what we're doing." And these students were like, "I didn't know there was music on this campus." And I played trombone or whatever, and I thought, so that's been a big part to me was I need to get a way to let people know we're here.
Yeah.
Because I think there's people out there that would love to be a part of it.
It's networking, really.
Yeah.
I mean, what it boils down to. What did you know about Laredo when you first applied here?
Well, the city as a whole, I just did, you do your research when you
Yeah.
make an application. That it's a border town, that it's got a full city's worth of stuff. That was the thing, because I moved here by myself, so I do want to have things to do and restaurants to go to, and so I made sure that those were there, and there are. We have this wonderful, wonderful city of things like that. And then I'll tell you the biggest thing that attracted me before I knew anything was that we sit on this historic fort. That to me, I love those kinds of things, and that just really is a big deal to me.
Has there been anything that has surprised you about living here?
The community theaters, to be honest, the amount of shows they do, and the incredible quality is amazing. That there's this culture of theater that's so strong.
Interesting.
And of course, I've only been here a few months, so I don't know everything else that goes on in this town. But those are the things I've been a part of and seen.
Yeah. Now you're also involved with the LPO, correct?
Yes.
The Laredo Philharmonic Orchestra. Is it
Chorus?
Chorus.
I'm involved with. I play piano for their rehearsals. Yeah.
I knew there was a change in the name at some point. Wasn't there? Laredo Philharmonic. Oh,
Could have been.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, but you do play piano.
I play piano for the rehearsals, and then I got to sing with them in the spring concert.
Do you prefer playing piano or you prefer singing or both?
I love playing the piano.
Yeah.
I mean, singing was always my first love, but the piano helps so many people, and so I really enjoy getting to do that.
How old were you when you first touched the ivories?
It wasn't until I was in 8th grade, which is pretty old for most.
And did you find right away that you could pick it up quickly, or what led you to continue?
I fell in love with the instrument and playing and making music and
How did you learn? Did you get private lessons?
Oh yeah. Yeah. You just that's the way most people learn. Classical musicians, at least, is you take lessons. And I was gifted lessons. A lady in my church saw that I had a desire for it, and so she paid for them for several years for my private piano lessons for me. I was very blessed.
What do you do when you're not teaching? What do you like to do? Movies, music, what?
Well, I like to go visit my friends. So that's my first go-to when I have time is go see them. And sometimes that's a phone call or a text conversation sometimes these days, but that's my favorite thing is just reconnecting with those folks, and seeing and those kinds of things. But I'm a TV watcher.
Okay.
I like the NCISs and those kinds of things on TV. So when it's time to just sit and relax for a little bit, that's what gets put on.
Is that your favorite NCIS?
Yeah, the original NCIS original is my favorite.
Yeah, I get you because I love Criminal Minds.
Oh, yeah,
but Criminal Minds after Hotch left and then
Yeah.
Morgan, it was just I can't watch it anymore. But yeah, I get you. Like there's a certain era of Criminal Minds that I can watch.
Yeah.
But what about movies?
I like action.
Yeah.
I like the Marvel.
I got you.
all the good old those movies a lot.
Yeah.
They're mostly action. I like to go see. If I'm going to go see a movie, I want it to be action. A lot of just cool action. It's nice if it has a good score,
Sure.
but more importantly, the action.
You pay attention to those kind of things.
Well, yeah,
We don't.
can't help it. You probably do, but you don't realize it.
True that, because is it subliminal?
Well, it just makes the movie,
Yeah, I guess. And what would be included in the score? Is it just the music, or is it? What? I guess is that a stupid question? Like,
No.
what do you consider the score?
Well, it's just the music.
Or,
All the music that happens while the movie's going on is what we would call the score.
but even in those little moments that you don't expect there to be music, right? That's considered part of the score, other than all the big music.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah.
I know.
Well, there's some very famous just two notes
Really?
that are famous. The Jaws thing.
Yeah, that's
Da-da.
true. Yeah, that's true.
It is two notes, but if you hear those two notes, you know a shark's coming.
What was that done on? What is?
Oh, I don't remember, and I don't remember that. That's a little before my time.
Yeah.
I just know those two notes now. I play them for my music appreciation class all the time, and even the kids know those two notes.
That's interesting.
Yep.
Favorite music?
Oh, it just depends. In the morning, it's classical,
Okay.
but then if I'm going to do a road trip, it's classic rock.
Okay.
So
Interesting. So you've only been here a short time. What do you see for the future here, for yourself or for the college, or however you want to approach that?
Well, I want to see this program come back to what it was, in its heyday. And we've got these beautiful facilities, we've got equipment, and we have high schools full of kids in bands and orchestras. And so I want to see us let those kids know we're here.
Yeah.
And then they come and play with us or major or both. Either one. Come and just play because you love it. Come and be a music major if that's what you want to do. But come out here and be a part of music here on this campus. And I think there's a lot of kids out there. I think there's kids on campus now that just don't know we're here.
Sure.
So the biggest thing is just let people know, and I think we'll see more kids involved. And we just started mariachi back, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to see us start some other things back. Percussion ensembles or drum lines or I don't know.
Yeah.
Depends on what kids come.
Yeah.
To do what their interests are.
If you could look further into the future, how long do you see yourself here? Do you think?
Well, I came here to retire.
Oh, nice.
So that's the plan.
How fortunate we are.
That's what I came here to do.
Yeah.
So, and that's a good chunk down the road. But that is the plan and my goal.
If you wouldn't have become a music teacher, what do you think you would have become?
Oh gosh, well, like I said, I went to undergraduate school to be a Broadway star, but whether that would have happened or not is way up in the air.
That's a tall order.
Yes, it is. So I don't know.
I'm not saying you couldn't have done it. I'm just saying it's.
I suspect I would have probably I would have taught something else.
Yeah.
Some
you
of the
always wanted to just be a teacher. You never thought about being a lawyer.
Oh no, not any of those kinds of things. It was be a musician, a performer, or then it became a teacher.
Would you say being on Broadway is akin to getting into the NFL?
Oh yeah. It's the same level as with singing and dancing as it's the same level of professionalism.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
And it's difficult to get there.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. Anything that I didn't ask you that you want to mention before we wrap up?
No, you're awesome.
Oh well, thank you.
Great. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Then we'll wrap it up there. And congratulations on being here in Laredo. And thank you for wanting to be here until you retire. We look forward to it and to the many exciting things that will continue.
Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate it.